This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Actors Del Arte Ensemble of West Michigan's Readers Theater production of From Luella's Window, a two-act play written by Patricia Rose and directed. Thank you. Now I'm going to introduce you to our cast members. Shar Ambrose, Kathy McFarlane, Brenda Gannon, Matthew Gilmerson, Colin Jenny, Ian Jenny, Janae Losey, Stephen Owsley, Linda Rosner, and yours truly, Patricia Rose. Now we're going to take a little journey to a place called Hookerville. And this is how our story begins. Luella Dankworth has lived in Hookerville for most of her life. She is widowed from Ned Dankworth of Dankworth Sawmills. They raised two children, Brad Dankworth, who grew up on the wrong side of the tracks and did 10 years in local penitentiary for selling drugs, along with his childhood friend Chick, who is strapping gal doing time, and she is gay. Luella's daughter, Millie Dankworth, grew up with dreams of meeting a man with money, as Hookerville is in the middle of nowhere. She works as head cashier at the local Easy Mart, is having an on and off relationship with Darren Fillmore, who is married with 3 kids and too scared to ask his wife for a divorce. They spend time at his workplace and her mother's. It's Saturday evening and most of the town is asleep except for Nate's Saloon / pizzeria. Frozen, of course. You can get a beer cold if you're lucky, as the refrigerator is on the fritz most of the time. Customers are always complaining, but you have to understand Nate Wade. He'll walk a mile to save 5 cents on a loaf of bread. Hooker was established in 1867, right after the Civil War. That's where it got its name, after Colonel Hooker got shot there cheating at cards, although he actually was caught cheating on his wife and she shot him dead. So Hooker it was until the Ladies' Church League added Ville to make it sound more respectable. It's midsummer and a bit humid. The only air conditioner in the whole town belongs to the mayor, Mr. Barnaby. He also has the biggest house in the area. Some say he was mixed up with the mafia when he was younger. But then people do like to tell stories. He was only in Italy for a week when he was 10. Luella Dankworth is sitting at her kitchen table, staring out a window that looks over the main street of the town. Some say she is a permanent fixture there. Right after she lost her husband, Ned, she took to sitting there for hours. Her sister Cleo moved in to keep her company and has not left since.
Oh, Lou, about time we call it a night. There's nothing to see in the dark.
Well, you know I ain't watched the news yet.
Don't much matter. It's all bad anyway. Remember, Rod's coming tomorrow.
Oh, sure he is. It's time to borrow money again. I'm surprised he has money for gas to drive over here.
Now, Lou, he is my son.
Well, you don't see me bragging about it. Which reminds me, have you heard from Millie lately? She was supposed to bring some of those coupons and sat up from the Sunday paper.
Oh, she's busy, you know. Head cashier at Easy Mart.
Chasing men, you mean? I've lost track. Her dad and I had a long marriage. Oh, we had our days, but we loved each other, and that's a fact.
It takes a while to find the right one. You know that.
You mean to find the one with enough money?
Now, let's not get started.
When's Len coming by with your support check? Or is he spending it on his latest flame?
Oh, trust me, he knows it's time. Remember, I do have the savings account number tucked away.
Say, did you notice anything odd about that fella that's moved in next door?
He seems all right to me. At least he's quiet and presentable.
Oh, too quiet.
You know, there you go again, trying to find something to gripe about.
I'm telling you, he has those eyes.
What eyes?
The shifty kind. Like when you're talking to somebody and they keep looking around and around, but Not at you, like they couldn't be interested in what you had to say?
Imagine that. Well, I'm heading to bed, and don't forget to let the cat in.
Flea bitten, sorry excuse for a cat. Never has caught a mouse.
Good night.
Scene 2, Easy Mart. Easy Mart is a cross between a grocery store, gas station, and beer pickup. Hal runs the pumps and does general cleanup and unloading trucks. He tends to be a ladies' man and a bit lazy. Millie chews her fingernails a lot and is constantly taking cigarette breaks. Mom tries to visit her a couple of times a week.
So, Ma, what brings you here today? You're a bit early, aren't you?
To a man standing behind her mom.
Hold your pants. Can't you see I got a customer here?
Oh, I just stopped by to give you a few dollars.
That's it.
They ain't sent my social security check yet.
You know, you ought to call the bank because I was hoping for 100.
100?
Yeah, I owe Dick Country for his last tattoo.
I thought you weren't going to get any more of those done. It looked like a comic book now. And I hate to tell you, but that Skull and Rosa don't do a thing for you.
Mom, your day is come and gone. You got to get with it. Look, mister. If you open your trap one more time, I'll have to shut. Make me, you say? Surely.
Oh dear.
Millie grabs a short crowbar and starts to walk around the counter. That's what I thought. All talk and no action.
You need to be careful, Millie. People are crazy these days.
And there a time when there wasn't?
Hey, Mel, this here fella says he got cheated on his gas.
Did you check the tank, Hal?
Oh, I thought that was your job.
You're supposed to let me know when the reservoir is getting low. No, Hal, it's yours. I can't run the register and take care of customers in the store and be outside fooling around with the tanks. Call corporate.
Who?
PPG Oil, the people who write your checks.
Golly, I didn't know that.
On the other hand, I'll call. You can take care of the trash. And please watch out for the cars. You almost got run over by that semi last week.
I know, and that air horn blew my hat clean off.
And by the way, Hal, button up your shirt. The few chest hairs you got sprouting, they don't get it.
I can see you're busy, dear. Here, take the money, but stop by later for a bite to eat.
I'll see, Ma. Darren's picked me up for supper.
Oh, someplace nice.
Frankie's dogs and Kraut over in standby.
Oh, Cleo's waiting. I gotta go.
Oh, why don't you get a cell phone like mine? Nobody uses landlines anymore.
I do.
Look, I gotta grab a smoke. I'll talk to you later.
You're gonna believe this, but some little pretty thing just told me I look like Harrison Ford.
Oh, losing your sight, it's an awful thing.
Scene 3, chicken dinner. It's a Sunday afternoon and everybody lands at Luella's hoping to get an invite for her famous chicken dinners.
You know what? No matter how many times you fix those chickens, they are melt in your mouth good. And those biscuits, so light and fluffy.
All right, Cleo, you got a spot at the table. Good Lord, what is that racket out there on a Sunday morning?
That's Rodney on his new bike, some Hardley or something. He'll wake up the dead with that thing.
Heck, Cleo, half the town's buried up there in Greenview anyway. You should know that by now. There ain't no waking up in this town.
Mama, here's my girl. I want you to meet Sprocket. Ain't she adorable? Why, she can tear apart my bike and rebuild it in less than a day. Wow, that turns me on.
That's quite a feat, I'd say. Pleased to meet you. Well, you might as well clean up before we eat.
We are cleaned up.
Oh,
Here comes Millie dragging that Darren fella behind her.
I hope he ain't sniffing for money too.
Now, Cleo, that's enough. Hello, Millie, give your mom a big hug. Oh, and this must be Darren.
In the flesh. Nice bike out there. That yours?
Yep, all 18 grand.
Where'd you get that kind of money?
A light knock at the door. Luella went to answer when she was hit first by an overpowering aftershave and a nickel-plated gold necklace, already outdated.
Afternoon, Miss Dankworth.
Hal, is there something wrong?
Boss gave me the day off. Millie always told me to try your chicken sometime, so here I am. They're busy cleaning up the ice cream freezer on account I unplugged it, thinking it was the coffee machine at closing time.
So you still got a job?
He told me he'd see me first thing in the morning.
Food's ready. It's buffet style. Find a seat and plunk yourself down. There's plenty.
Famous last words as Hal ate more than his fair share of the chicken until Rod stuck his knife in the last bit of chicken and his eye pierced into Hal's. Things grew quiet.
Did I ever tell you the time my brother ate all the chicken eggs out of my grandma's hen house? He still cooks every time he eats chicken.
Now. I have 4 pies, rhubarb, an apple, cherry, and banana cream.
Aunt Cleo, you outdid yourself this time.
I'll take one of each.
Everyone gives Hal the look.
Sliver of each, thank you.
I must say, this is the best meal I think I've ever had. I don't know a lick about cooking. Maybe sometime you could show me how, Mrs. Dankworth.
Why, I'd be pleased to. Now, Cleo here is the real pie maker.
you always say that, Luella.
Well, it's true. Who's for coffee?
Cleo was trying to be discreet and tell her son that his girlfriend Sprocket was getting attention. Not the right kind. Every time Sprocket bent forward, her cleavage burst forward like 2 plump balloons. He just smiled and Sprocket kept drinking her coffee. All the men were impressed. They retired to the small living room to watch a little baseball. The girls all helped with the dishes except Sprocket. She lit a cigarette, lifted and crossed her legs on the table, stating,
I'd help, but that's women's work.
Ma, it was the best, but Darren and I are heading out. He has to stop by and see his kids.
You never told me he was married.
He's separated. It's complicated. I'll tell you all about it sometime.
things were winding down and people were leaving with kudos for the dinner.
No, that was quite a day, sister. I don't know about you, but I am bushed.
I think I'll sit over there at the window and have a bit of coffee and a slice of your apple pie.
Looking into the empty pie tins,
Al,
scene 4, church on Main Street.
oh, it's a hot one today. I knew I shouldn't have worn my girdle.
What were you thinking on a day like today, 100 degrees in the shade? After service, I'm having a cold one at Nate's place.
Remember, we're in church, Cleo. Don't want old busybody Mrs. Perkins nosing into our conversations.
Poor thing, it's her only pastime these days since George up and died on her.
More like the drink will kill you with him. He practically lived in Nate's place.
Sorry I'm late. Darren couldn't make it. He got stuck with his kids again. Oh, I could use a smoke. Lord, what's wrong with the fans in here? It's blowing all this hot air around.
Yeah, kind of like Pastor Gordon, what he's gonna do shortly.
At that point, the pastor entered the pulpit and started the service. With the heat, people kept nodding off, but he was known for his hellfire and brimstone sermons. As soon as you dozed off, he'd hit you with, "Hell, y'all going to hell." And when he got through, you were ready for forgiveness, or surely you were going to hell in a handbasket.
Cleo, ain't that our neighbor all by himself? Something ain't right about that, man. I was thinking about talking to Sheriff Blunt over there and standby.
Luella, you'll do no such thing. He ain't done a lick of harm. You need to keep to your own business.
Mark my words, something ain't right about that, man. You'll see.
Shh. Will you two hush? I'm having a nice nap. You know, church is the only time I get to rest.
Millie, you see that fella sitting there? You know anything about him?
Not really. He keeps to himself. But the gossip is, he is loaded. And boy, if it weren't for Darren, I'd try my luck with that one.
Oh, yeah, like Darren's a sure bet.
He takes me to the movies, and we eat at the fast food depot every Friday after work.
Honey, with kids, 3 of them, I'm told, he can't afford anything else. You can do better than that.
Poor Mrs. Perkins fell over the pew, nose first into Cleo's open Bible, her hearing aid dangling from her ear.
Well, Mrs. Perkins, did you get an earful?
She excused herself, embarrassed, and said she would pray for the lot of them, as one of the laymen helped her back into her seat. After the benediction, no handshaking today, everybody moved quickly out the door to reach fresh air, and it had started to rain.
I'm heading to Nate's and catch a cold one. You going to join me?
Oh, Lord, speak of the devil.
There stood Lenton Price, Cleo's ex-husband, with a young woman half his age hanging on his arm, with enough makeup to outshine a clown with hair to match.
I was hoping to catch you. Can we get out of this rain?
I'm heading to Nate's. You can join me there, you 2-timing son of a bitch.
I didn't catch that.
See you there. You going, Luella?
Oh, too hot already without you two going at it. I'll catch a ride with Millie.
Scene 5. If you call me dark. Nate's place is what you call a true dive. Dark and musty, smelling of stale beer and cigarettes, not to mention the no smoking sign that hung over the bar. The main counter was always sticky and the barkeep's rag and nasty gray. Made you think best to leave it as it was. 2 large fans blew smoke and hot air across the room. There were half a dozen tables and chairs scattered about. Menu so greasy it slid from your hand. Most of your choices were scratched out, which left French fries, hot dogs, condiments, extra. Your choice of pop, cola or cola. The only saving grace was Nate had bought a new refrigeration system. So the beer was nice and cold. Otherwise, I do believe he would have up and folded.
Okay, Lenton. What is it this time? The reason for my checks being late again?
Now, darling, let's not fight. Marcy here gets upset real easy.
Is so smart. I think he's something else.
Oh, really? Sorry to hear that. So what brings your sorry ass to town? Knowing you like I did for 25 glorious years, you have another get-rich scheme cooked up? I can smell it.
Now, hear me out. I got a chance to buy a really nice bungalow in Florida. You know how we always talked about doing that someday.
Oh, how could I forget your harebrained schemes? What is it this time? You won the lottery?
Actually, I can't reveal my source. He's a real nice fella, bona fide salesman. Oversees everything. Takes you personally to the property of your choice and helps you decide. No pressure.
And what does this have to do with me?
He needs references, of course. Now, hear me out, darling. Would you allow me to use some of the money I've been sending you each month to make a down payment on the place?
Yeah, that's the least you could do. Besides, he told me what a bitch you are.
Oh, he did he? Well, at least I'm not a moron. Besides, you are nuts. I need that money to live on since you left me high and dry. I had to pay for the lawyer and our divorce, and you were nowhere to be found. Rod's not too happy about how things worked out.
I know. I plan on seeing him while I'm here. Cleo, it was hard on both of us, but I want to make it up to you. I propose that you and Luella come down here 1 month in the winter, free of charge, of course, except for food, and stay in one of the rooms.
And where will you be?
Marcy and I started up a t-shirt business for tourists. We'll be down at the beach most days. You'd have the whole place to yourselves. They got a great taxi service to use as well. What do you say, darling?
You should see the t-shirts. He's got everything. Rock stars, movie stars, the Three Stooges.
And I am looking at 2 of them. And if you call me darling one more time, you're going to be talking on the other side of your face.
That's what I loved about you, Cleo, your spunk. So will you think about it? I told the fella I'd let him know by next week.
So where are you staying?
And Marcy and I are staying at the Sleep Tight Motel in Standby. So here's my number. Call me if you need anything.
The only thing I need now is for you to get out of my sight. And Marcy, darling, that pink hair of yours don't go well with that orange top. Kind of makes you look like a circus attraction.
Scene 6, Cousin B.
That had to be a shock seeing Lenton again.
Oh, not really. Same old, same old.
So what did he want?
Oh, he's got another harebrained scheme of his.
Oh, you're not going along with it, are you?
No, sis, I am not.
You know, I've been watching the Browns. They got a new camper. Those kids of theirs will have it tore up in a week or two. Remember that trampoline incident? That poor old dog of theirs ain't walked straight since. I see Betty Thompson's got her brother Rick staying with her again. Hope he doesn't get drunk and streak down Main Street again.
You loved it, you know it.
Oh, I don't think so. I did peek a little bit. Who? You know, that fella next door that had at least 5 SpedEx packages this week. I mean, big boxes.
I don't know what you would do without that window, Luella. Why don't you read or something? Take up knitting.
Oh, I'm too old for that, Cleo. Oh, come here a minute. Did you see that shadow move?
What shadow?
I'm telling you, there's something rubbing against the house. I'm calling the police.
Oh, hold your horses. It's probably the neighbor's cat.
There's a thud and some cussing. Cleo opens the door to see her cousin Beatrice standing there, a bit disheveled, overnight bag in hand.
B, what a, whoa, pleasant surprise.
Hesitating on the pleasant because she reeked of wine.
I'm sorry. I should have called, but my phone can't pick up a signal in this godforsaken place.
Hello, B. What brings you here?
I ask myself the same question. Cheap accommodations in Standby.
Oh, nonsense. You can stay here. How long did you say?
My daughter's best friend is getting married and I've been invited. I'm taking the bus. Had to stop for a break. Those buses are awful. Say, do you have anything relaxing? Like a small glass of wine?
Yeah, cooking, Sherry.
That would do nicely.
Boy, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yes, and Lenten?
Best we leave that one alone since he stayed with you a week after running away.
Now, Cleo, nothing happened. We did tie one on one night. Hard to remember after that.
Tell you what, let's get Millie's room for you. We'll get that all ready.
That would be nice. I'm a bit dizzy.
I couldn't imagine why.
Good night, B. See you in the morning.
Scene 7, B misses the bus.
Millie, Millie, come quick. There's some fella here trying to steal his gas.
Now, I tell you, people use credit cards now to pay for their gas while having to come in to the store.
Don't seem right somehow. Used to be people that pay for their gas.
Don't even go there. You need to fill the window washing fluid and add more towels to the dispensers.
Rod pulls up on his bike and has Sprocket with him.
Hi, cuz. Remember Sprocket?
Yeah, what is it, Rod?
Well, you see, she needs to get her car tire fixed, and I told her you knew a fellow that does it for free.
For crying out loud. Rod, that was over a year ago, and he did me a favor because I gave him a lift when his car broke down. Besides, I don't even remember his name.
That's all right. I'll hit my sister up for some cash. She owes me. I'll have a pack of Luckies. Oh, and add a beer. Rod here will pick up the tab.
You are something, girl. Ain't she, cuz?
Oh, she's something all right.
I heard Dad was hitting Mom up for some money. Something to do with Florida?
Oh, don't get me wrong, Rod, being he's your dad. But he better leave Aunt Cleo alone. He's done enough damage already. Look at you.
A car pulls up and Cleo gets out, followed by Beatrice.
What is this, a family reunion?
You got any wine back there?
Just the cheap stuff.
Oh, it don't matter. I'll take a couple of bottles.
Aunt Cleo, what are you doing here this time of day?
I'm trying to get your cousin over to the bus stop, so we're in a hurry. I need some gas. Thanks.
Hi, Miss Cleo. Say, you got a lighter I could use?
I don't smoke.
Well, good for you. My grandpa smoked till he was in his 90s. You can't believe all you read in the news.
Yeah, I see the Inquirer is your source there.
I read these all the time. Why, you know, they're trying to make pigs with humans.
Oh, you don't say. Well, you're getting the better part of the deal with the pig as opposed to some humans I've known.
Mom, is it true Dad's trying to get you to buy a place in Florida?
I didn't say I was going to do anything.
Sprocket and I could ride down there and spend some time hanging out with you. Beach close by? I could go for that. What's the holdup?
Common sense, Rod. Look, I got to get B to the bus stop. We'll talk later.
Cleo is in a hurry to get her cousin on the bus and out of her hair. But then sometimes the best laid plans.
What do you mean? The bus broke down and it may take a couple of days before you can get people to their destination. You realize we're in the middle of nowhere here? Same to you, buddy.
Oh dear, I'll miss Jenny's wedding. She puts on such great parties too.
Yeah, I bet, and all that free booze.
What? Are you insinuating I drink too much?
Dad used to say drunk words are sober thoughts, so I guess you'll be in Millie's room until we can get you up and going again.
I appreciate your being so accommodating. I really do. I'll be sure you get something for your trouble.
Oh, that's okay, Beatrice. That's what families are for.
And to think my sister always said that you were cheap. You just never know, do you?
I'll always consider the source.
Scene 8, meeting the stranger.
So Bea's still sleeping.
Yep. Look, I gotta go shopping. She eats like two.
Now, Cleo, you know she needs help.
You mean she needs to scrounge on us for a while? Her whole family are a bunch of losers.
Hey, don't forget you're talking about mother's sister's side there.
Yeah, I'm trying to forget.
I'm telling you, Cleo, something is going on next door. I couldn't sleep last night, so I had a cup of tea looking out the window. He kept bringing boxes in and out of his house.
Ooh,
Our neighbor.
so
At 3 a.m,
maybe he works the night shift.
oh, you hardly ever see him during the day. I still don't know what he looks like. And what would you need a big bag of fertilizer for? I saw him carrying a 50-pound bag into the house earlier.
Well, I suppose he plans on planting some flowers.
Oh, there's not a flower in sight.
Well, look, I gotta go. I gotta pick up some cheap wine to keep our guest happy. We'll talk more later.
As Cleo was walking to her car, she dropped her car keys and she watched as a hand picked him up and handed him to her. He was 6'3", well built with beautiful amber eyes, a cleft chin and chestnut hair that was tousled in the front. He looked like a model from GQ magazine. Thank you, she stuttered.
My pleasure.
He said, looking straight into her eyes. It was very unnerving.
Oh, I was just getting ready to go shopping. I'm Cleo, by the way.
Just call me Sid.
Oh, nice meeting you.
Same here.
He watched as she backed her car over his one azalea bush, much to her chagrin. It did manage to bounce back. Driving to the store, Cleo could not get that stranger out of her mind. The way he looked at her gave her goosebumps. He made her self-conscious, more like a woman. Scene 9.
Millie, I'm sorry. My wife won't take the kids this weekend. I know you had your heart set on going to the softball game with me over in standby.
Darren, don't fret about it. Oh, I need a cigarette. I'm thinking about traveling north to see my cousin Gina. We have a long history of getting into trouble.
I don't think that would be a good idea, do you? I thought you were a little bit more mature than that.
Look, Darren, you have fun with your kids. I only get one weekend off a month, and I'm out of here.
But what about us? I thought we could watch TV with the kids, maybe roast hot dogs and have a picnic. Joe could use help for homework. I told her you would help. You might want to work with Tommy too.
Look, Darren, you're a nice fella and all, but I am not a built-in babysitter for your wife. Sorry.
She gets out of the car and walks toward her mother's place. Millie is livid, and she's bound and determined to head to her mom's to borrow Cleo's car. Her truck is out of gas at the station when a man in a black Lamborghini pulls up alongside. As she walks.
Miss, it looks like you could use a ride.
She takes a look at his car and is short of breath. It was the most beautiful car she had ever seen.
I'm safe. In fact, I live right next to your mother.
Really? So you're the new guy.
Yeah, that's me. Your mother has a fascination with me.
Yeah. Ever since Dad passed, she spends a lot of time looking out that window. So how do you know me?
I've seen you around. I'd like to get to know you better. I like blondes. Millie, is it?
Yeah, you seem to know a lot about us already.
I make it my business to know people.
So what do you do for a living?
Women always want to know that. Let's just say I'm good at business. By the way, I'm Riff. Before I drop you off, would you like to take a spin towards standby to see what this car can really do?
Sure.
She said as the car whipped her back into her seat. They hadn't gotten too far when a police car tagged them at 120.
Going for the checkered flag. This is a public highway, not a speedway. But I have to admit, this is one sweet ride.
Would you like to drive it?
Really? Sure.
The officer took it around the block, and he was smiling ear to ear.
Wait till I tell my buddies at work. Say, do you have a phone camera?
Sure. Here, let me take a picture of you sitting in the driver's seat. You look like a natural.
Say, I tell you what, I'll give you a warning this time. Just be careful out there. Keep her under 60, okay?
Yes, sir.
You always get away with things like this?
Life is for the taking. Like, live it, I say. Looks like we're here. Say, how about lunch sometime? My treat.
After all this excitement, why not?
He winked at her and went on down the road and not home. Oh, this man definitely had Millie's interest. And now we're going into part 2. All they talked about. Summer was fading and Hookerville was getting ready for their annual apple festival. Luella always made chicken lunches and Cleo her pies for the fairgrounds. Millie would help on her days off. The whole town got involved. A broken down carnival showed up every year with a badly paint carousel, a Ferris wheel that would constantly get stuck. One year, it took the fire department from standby to get the people off it. They had pony rides and a scary house that the kids loved. Half the time, the animated creatures would just stop working and the carnies would have to go in, kick in the generator. They had a few cheap games and con artists at your beck and call, but the beer tent did a rollicking business.
Luella, where's my purple sweater? It's a bit chilly out today. I'll be out in time to help you at the chicken stand.
Oh, how much longer will this free lunch thing go on with B? She's been here going on 3 months and she don't do a lick of work, but she's good at making messes. She has told me her social security check is running late again. How convenient. I have half a mind to take her home myself.
Oh, let her enjoy the festival at least. So we best get going.
Things were going well for the girls. Chicken and pie hit the spot. Even Mayor Barnap exclaimed it was the best chicken he had ever had.
Hey, Mom, can I borrow a couple bucks? I want to play the ring toss. Want to win Sprocket, a big old teddy bear.
I like to watch your butt every time you bend over in those jeans, babe.
She slaps his rear.
What? Your father can't spring a few dollars? He spends enough on Marcy.
He's still working on that Florida deal.
I can feel the ocean breezes calling.
Look, go pester your father. I'm busy here. Have you seen B? She's supposed to help.
You saw her at the beer tent about an hour ago.
Here comes Millie. She can help.
What's going on? Getting your mom up for money, Rod?
Ain't none of your concern.
See you around, loser. Ma, remember Hal?
Don't mind if I have a piece of your chicken and a slice of that blueberry pie.
I'm buying. Keep him in check.
Things were moving along. The town was out in full force in the evening hours. They had fireworks planned for Friday night. They had to bring out the fire marshal to oversee it because the year before, a fireman lit a cigarette and dropped it into unloaded fireworks, blowing them all up at once, not to mention the hole it put through the truck bed.
So, how's it going? I'm here to help.
A little late, I'd say. We sold out.
Why, isn't that grand?
She said as she passed out in the grass. Cleo revived her and told her to stay home the next day, as they had it handled. It was rainy and windy and people were walking around with umbrellas, but the food stands were busy.
Did well, don't you? But not without two of the best cooks in town.
Her mouth dropped open as a large boned woman stood before them, her glasses fogged over and her thick curly hair limp with rain. I'll have a cup of coffee and a slice of that apple pie.
Chick, what are you doing here?
She hated to think Chick was gay and the best friend of her long lost brother, Brad. Now, Brad and I decided to visit Hookerville this time of year. You know, he always liked a festival.
Good Lord, Chick. When did you get out?
Last week. 10 years in that stinking hole.
And Brad?
He's over at the beer tent. He got out the day after I did.
That's good to see you.
She said hesitantly.
What Ma is trying to say is, what in the hell are you doing here?
Well, well now. If it ain't my little sister Millie, all grown up.
We don't want any trouble, Brad. Your mom has finally got the debt you left her in paid off, and I suggest you and Chick find someplace else to hang your hat. You're not wanted in our house.
Good old Aunt Cleo. Your mouth is still as big as your ass.
Excuse me, sir. You were talking about my friends, and I don't like your tone of voice.
What the hell do we have here? A scrawny little pimp with a cheap ass piece of jewelry and a pinky ring. I ate fellas like you for lunch at the pen, so bug off.
I'm warning you.
Fists went up. Brad poked him in the face and he folded like cardboard.
He wasn't gonna hurt you.
You may be my sister, but I don't have to take crap from you either.
What do you want, money?
You're smart, like always.
Hello, ladies. Do we have a problem here?
No, it's a family matter. We're okay, really.
I don't think you are.
Look, pretty boy, whoever you are, get lost.
You heard him, sugar. Take a hike.
You hard of hearing? I said move it!
He came at the stranger, fist swinging. When the stranger did a few karate moves and left Brad lying in the rain.
Wow! Just like your ninja warriors, dude! You are awesome! Hal! I'm Hal.
Reaching to shake his hands, Cleo and Millie all moon-eyed over what they just saw.
If it bothers you again, You know where to find me, right, Luella?
He winks. It was the talk of the town. It even outshone the fireworks. That's all they talked about at church on Sunday. Scene 2. What good does a vacuum cleaner do? Standing in the driveway just outside of Luella's, Darren and Millery are having a talk.
Millie, I heard all about your little ride with Mr. Hollywood.
Who comes up with that name?
What you expect running around a Ford sports car, sunglasses, and that flashy smile with my girl?
Your girl? Look, Darren, we went out on a couple of dates at a burger joint, and I watched your kids for you when you needed my help. I'd do that for anybody. But your girl? You're still married, if I have to remind you.
I'm close to getting a divorce. I just need a decent lawyer.
It's been 3 years. I think you would have found someone by now. Oh, don't go getting that look now. I feel bad enough. I told you I was the fickle kind, and I just can't help it. This fella, he has trouble written all over him. A bad boy for sure, and I just can't resist his type.
Does that mean we're not friends anymore?
No, Darren, why would you think that? Sure, friends, but I just need some space.
Looking out the window, Cleo sees the two of them talking.
Oh, looks like Millie's giving her see you around speech to Darren.
I don't know why she can't find a decent fella and settle down.
Well, some women have restless spirits. She's one of them. And you've got to do something about Brad, nephew or no nephew. I don't trust him farther than I can throw him. And don't you dare let him stay here. It's bad enough with B underfoot, but him and Chick, they give me the creeps. They're going to rob you blind.
Oh, now Cleo, he told me he's changed. Prison opened his eyes to where he went wrong.
Why don't I believe that?
Just then, a loud racket was heard in the driveway. Both the women looked out the window to see Brad and Chick climbing out of something that resembled a car of some sort. No hubcaps, smashed-in grill, one front fender missing, and a sun-bleached paint job. Sounded like a stock car.
Hey, Mom, come on out here. Check out my new wheels. My buddy Jasper from high school let me have it for $50. He was going to use it for a demolition derby over at Gill's Raceway in Standby.
You mean they insure that thing?
It's solid. The insurance dude never paid me for my 20 bags of Mary Jane I gave him before I was escorted off to the pen. He owed me. I'm good to go for the rest of this year.
You always did have way words, Brad. Say, do you gals know where there's a swap meet around here?
No, we don't do bartering anymore.
She's looking for a gay bar, Ma.
Oh, we don't have that sort of thing here. You'd have to go over to a Standby for that kind of stuff. I hear tell they have a section of folks like that over on the east side of town, but I couldn't say for sure.
Hold on to your pants now, chick. We'll go there tomorrow, just for you. First, I gotta see my cousin Rod. Has he been here around today, Ma?
He's stopping by later tonight to return my vacuum cleaner.
Where's he shacking up these days?
Oh, he's got a trailer with a gal named Spocket. I guess they keep their bikes inside the trailer at night. Don't know what good a vacuum cleaner does.
Scene 3. Got it. The men meet at the Flea Bag Motel where Brad and Chick are staying on the edge of town. Brad's not there when there's a loud backfire and the old car came to rest in front of the motel. Brad's already half in the bag and Chick not far behind. They bring in with them. He gets the keys and lets everyone in.
Look, Brad, I want to trust you, but you haven't exactly been a Boy Scout.
I have changed. You'll see I want into this Florida deal. Chick and I have been wanting to head south. I can be very persuasive with folks. Depend on me well.
This was supposed to help your mom. She's up in years, and your Aunt Cleo. They both deserve a place to rest in the winter. You're still young enough to find work.
I busted my butt in prison. I'm ready for an easy ride now.
I don't know. It's complicated. Where are you going to get money to invest?
They gave Chick and I some money to use as we saw fit. We both saved. We are thinking to open a bar to give old Nate Wade a run for his money. But hey, Florida sounds more my speed.
Brad, I thought you'd be sober for this meeting.
Hell, I am sober. You don't want to see me drunk.
Yesterday.
Look, cop through plate glass window the night he was arrested. He was a little drunk then.
Well, cousin, you ain't changed much, that's a fact. Maybe a little less hair on top.
Who's the hot mama?
He said, grabbing for Sprocket. She had a knife at his throat quicker than he could reach.
Woo-wee! I like her already.
She's my gal, Sprocket.
Sprocket. I like it.
Let's get down to why we're all here. How do you know this so-called fella has a great deal on a bungalow in Florida? I was at the supermarket over in Standby shopping a couple of weeks ago. I saw the sweepstakes ad for a winning trip to Florida when this young man walked up behind me. He said his name was Zip.
Zip? What in the hell kind of name is that?
Let me finish. He says it's a name he likes to use like a code of some sort. This guy is really smart. He can get us this house at half the market value. It's a steal. Does he have a realtor's license? Some kind of ID before we go giving him money? What about furnishings, you know? He showed me a picture of it. It looks really nice. Here, take a look at it. Now, as we all agreed, we pool our money together.
The men huddle around the picture.
Looks legit. I can feel those ocean breezes now.
Get your hand off my butt. You'll be losing or missing a finger or two.
As she pulled out a little ninja star, razor sharp.
I gotta have this woman.
Let's stick to business here. I think we have to check this salesman out. Where does he live? I think he's been staying at the old Chapman house next to your mother's, but then he's never there. He's like a vampire. She claims she sees him at night going in and out.
That old house? It's huge for one guy.
I suggest one of us goes over there and snoopes around, see what we can find out about this guy. Then we all rendezvous after you set up a meeting with this Zip character. We will be sure this house will be ours, free and clear, before money parts hands.
I think we should send a woman. Say, Sprocket? Less intimidating? Agreed. She can take care of herself.
So I see. Let's do it.
I'll stop by there tomorrow. See if anybody's around. But you guys have to let me handle this. Understood?
Got it.
At it. Scene 4. My name is Paul. It's the next morning as Sprocket is dressed to the nines to meet the prospective salesman. Walks around the house trying to peek inside. All the windows have shades drawn. She's looking for a point of entry where she can sneak in. When a hand touches her shoulder, she jumps out of her skin.
Good morning, miss. I see you're too well dressed to be a meter reader. Can I be of help?
You scared me half to death. No. My name is Miss Jones. I'm looking for a fella named Zip.
Oh, him. He's out for the day. Maybe I can help you. My name is Paul. What do you need?
Zip, I am told is in real estate, and me and a couple of my friends are interested in purchasing a house in Florida. Sound familiar?
He has deals going all the time. Real estate being only one endeavor.
Could we go inside and talk?
I tell you what, have you had breakfast?
No, why?
Why don't you let me take you over to Pal's Kitchen for their breakfast deluxe, my treat.
Well,
Come on, we can talk about it more later.
sure.
He goes inside the garage and comes out driving a red Corvette with all the bells and whistles. Sprocket was all smiles. Wow, is all she could say.
Cleo, come here, quick.
What is it? I haven't had my coffee yet.
He walks in at that moment.
Am I missing something?
All three women are looking out the window.
Now tell me that, isn't that Brad's girlfriend Cratchit in that car?
Rod.
It sure does look like her. I don't think Rod would like seeing her in that hot number with a strange fella.
I sure would like to know what's going on and coming on and is going on over there.
I'm not afraid to go snooping. Who's game?
Look, B, we can't get caught trespassing. We have to go at night when he's away. But I can't believe he owns a Lamborghini and a Corvette.
No, those are two different fellas.
How do you know?
Well, they have different colored hair and they don't dress alike.
Huh? What are you girls doing? You look like the cat that swallowed the canary.
Oh, nothing. Just admiring Mrs. Henley's rose bushes.
They're dropping leaves. It's fall. Nothing to see. Look, I need to borrow a couple of bucks. I need to gas up the truck.
Why don't you get a car instead of that gas guzzler?
Ma, we've been through this before. Working at Easy Mart. I need a truck. And if Hal calls looking for me, I've already left. You and that window. Sometimes I wonder.
She left with a 10 spot from her mother and headed to work, passing a red Corvette with none other than Sprocket smiling up a storm at some fella.
Oh boy, I hope Rod doesn't see this.
Scene 5, fly on out of here.
Where you been? All hell's broken loose.
What is it now, Hal? Can't I leave you alone for a minute?
Dan was here looking for you.
What now?
He needs you to talk to him. He looks bad. He hasn't shaven, his hair's all uncombed.
Okay. I will take care of it.
Wait. And something else.
What, Hal? Spit it out.
Bunch of school kids was in here and took a bunch of gum and candy when I was out using the restroom.
Hal, how many times I told you, when you leave, always lock up and take the key with you. I'm gonna hear about this when the inspector stops by next week.
I'm sorry, Millie. It's a lot to remember. I'll go check the fuel tanks.
Okay. We just got them filled 2 weeks ago, remember?
You can never tell. Maybe one of them sprung a leak or something.
Hal, you need to just go and stock the beer fridge, okay?
Okay, sound.
Millie, I'm so glad you're finally here. We need to talk.
Can't you see him at work, Darren?
I It's just something awful. My wife kicked me out for good for all my clothes in the street. It wasn't too bad, so that semi did a number on them. I need a place to stay. What about your mom's place?
Oh, no. Don't even go there. She's got her hands full with Brad and B and that scary person who calls herself Chick. Now you pull yourself together. You can always stay at your workplace, can't you? Your boss has a sofa there and all the coffee you could drink. And clean up, will ya? I'll call you later.
Just then, Chick walks in, looking around the store. Hey there, Blondie. How about a couple of packs of smokes and a cola? That ought to do her. Say, would somebody like you care to go out to dinner with
I'll put this one back down.
me sometime?
Honey, I don't swing that way. Besides, I got my eyes set on a bigger game.
Maybe you'd change your mind if I told you I may be living in Florida for the snowfly.
Okay, here's your stuff. Now you can fly on out of here.
You don't know what you're missing.
Oh, I think I do. Bye. Hal, did Rod say anything to you about plans? They have been acting suspicious lately, and I think Lenton's got something up his sleeve, and it smells rotten.
You should try some of that underarm spray, Mr. Bravado. What? It's great.
C6, undercover.
Cleo, you're stepping on my foot.
Well, B, if you'd move your big, fat egg double out of the way.
Who's there?
Cleo and B are dressed in black caps and stockings pulled over their faces.
What are you two doing out here? You scared the crap out of me.
Don't mess up our plan.
Plan? Where's Ma?
Oh, she's our lookout. She's supposed to whistle Dixie if someone shows up.
Oh, if you get caught, you'll be the biggest fools in Hookerville.
Oh, I don't know about that. I could name a few.
I see a light on the inside. Damn blinds are in the way.
Hey, I got an idea. Hey, Millie, give me one of your credit cards.
Millie hands Cleo a card.
It's maxed out, you know.
Cleo slides it under a back window and feels the window move.
Oh, this is our lucky night, girls.
They slowly slide the window open.
Hey, I hear voices. Why, that's Lenton and Rod, and I know Brad anywhere. He's got a voice like gravel.
Look, I'll hold the window and you gals jump. Come on, jump in there and don't even breathe.
Just as they all get in, B, who was a little tipsy, knocked over a vase of flowers. Next thing, a flashlight is shining in their faces.
What the hell you doing, Mom? You shouldn't be here. You either, Millie.
So what's your excuse, the bunch of you?
Oh, crap, Rod. I told you. They would be nothing but trouble.
We wanted to check this guy out before we started handing money out. It was to be a surprise for you girls.
This isn't the way it was supposed to play out. It's getting way too crowded in here.
Well, if you had more brains and boobs, sugar, you'd see this is a good gig for us all. I say, let's check out the joint. No one was prepared for what they saw. Boxes and boxes of computers and printers, 3 big screen TVs. As they moved around, each room was filled with goods of all kinds. Clothes, perfumes, wigs, golf clubs, sportswear, and stereos. The kitchen was lined with microwave ovens, mixers, dish sets, pots and pans, all brand new. Upstairs, there were fur coats and bags of expensive jewelry, watches and top-of-the-line perfumes, a cornucopia of gift items. There was one small bedroom that was used as an office, fake IDs, permits, licenses, and deeds to property.
Look at these men's clothes and shoes, Italian made. A fortune.
They went down to the basement to find rack after rack of top-dollar wine and a grow light for a long bench of marijuana in the garage.
You won't believe this, Rod. Isn't that a Camaro, recent model? Lamborghini? Corvette is missing though.
These guys have a real fence job going on here. I wouldn't mind a cut of this action.
You and me both. Down in Dixie. Dixie, where I was born.
I hear?
Yeah, sure enough, Luella is sending us a warning.
They all made a beeline for the back room window when Scene 7 garage sale. In walks the stranger and his girl.
Unexpected company, babe. Why, now I see some familiar faces. Couldn't wait to make the deal with me. There is a front door, you know.
I told you, Raphael, these people are going to be trouble.
Marcy, what are you doing here? That is you, isn't it?
Off came her colored wig and glasses to reveal a real beauty. Jet black hair and deep blue eyes. She was dressed in tight blue jeans and a sheer blouse and stilettos, making her taller than Raphael.
The name is Ramona.
Raphael kisses her passionately. They start groping each other.
Wait a minute, excuse me. I hate to break up the two of you getting it on, but would someone tell me what's going on, Sid?
Yeah, Ref.
Paul?
Zip? Man, I gotta hand it to you. You are the real deal, a bona fide con man with names and wigs to match.
We want some of this action.
Yeah, get her well.
We're real good at keeping secrets.
Who are you talking about?
I can help with the wine. I know the business. I'm a real connoisseur.
Oh, I don't do partners. Ramona, and I have been doing this for a long time. She's one of the best.
You sure had me fooled.
Now, Pops, don't be so hard on yourself. You're an easy mark. Makes things go a lot smoother. But I had you picked all wrong because you caught on to the game.
So what's it gonna be, Diego? I want in on this action. Hell, we can all go to Florida. I'll take the camera. What do you think, sweetheart?
She grabs at Sprocket. He grabs at Sprocket and she knees him in the groin.
I am not about to let you small town hicks in on what we have worked so hard to create.
He pulls out a 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum, and Ramona likewise.
I suppose you stole those too. And we have more where those came from.
Gun dealers too.
Now, me and my girl are going to leave. Got plane tickets to ports unknown. I suggest you stay right where you are.
He throws Millie keys to the house.
Fight over it. Hasta la vista.
They quickly exit. As the Corvette could be heard as it drove out of sight.
Well, girls, I think we could have one hell of a garage sale.
Hookerville went on with its mundane day-to-day existence. But there was a big difference with Luella Dankworth and her family. They found the titles to the cars, the one thing that wasn't stolen. Bea never did go back to her one-bedroom apartment, but stayed on. She bought Raphael's house and opened a little wine shop. Luella stayed at home, but she had every convenience in her kitchen. Microwave, dishwasher, new 65-inch TV, and at least one fur coat and a few baubles in her closet. Rod and Sprocket, well, they sold their trailer and moved to Florida in their Camaro, living in the little house Linton had purchased. Linton and Cleo, they decided to patch things up and stayed on with Bea. And they did have the biggest garage sale of hot goods in the county. Millie was promoted to supervisor at the Easy Mart. Well, Hal runs security. He said the women loved him in his uniform, said he looked like Harrison Ford. Millie enjoyed driving her Lamborghini around and didn't have any trouble getting boyfriends after that. Brad and Chick bought Nate Wade's old place and added slot machines and fresh brewed beers. And Darren, the last they heard, left town, wiping out his wife's bank account.
Luella, I figured I'd catch you there looking out your window. Want a cup of coffee?
Why, sure. You know, you never know what you might see. Why, I believe Mrs. Henley kicked her husband out. I see him sleeping in his car. But I think there's something stranger going on over at Mary Bidford's place. The newspapers are piling up in her yard. I think she might have gone off with her pool boy. We probably need to go check that out.
Luella, I think we've had enough snooping around, don't you? At least for a little while.
Cleo, did you lose your sense of humor and adventure?
All right, Lou, we'll check it out, maybe in some other night. For now, I'm enjoying my coffee.
Bravo, well done, well done. Would everyone please come on screen?
Wonderful.
Thank you all, and take your little bow. Yes, stop the recording. Wonderful
That's-
job, guys. Kudos.
It's